It is fabulous to be here with you once again. Now, today, what we are going to talk about is how do we help our clients to get over, get past, get beyond those negative emotions that they have going on so they can cultivate a place of serenity, calm for themselves. So we're going to split this up into two. We're going to start with releasing the negative emotions. Now, if you're brand new to the group, you will know that we do EFT tapping. It is the tapping as a modality. We are tapping on the meridian points of our own faces and our own upper torso, around bodies. It is a tool that takes the intensity and takes the emotional charge out of thoughts and memories and beliefs. Now, while we're talking about beliefs, let me share with you, beliefs really are just a story you repeat and you repeat and you repeat. Where do our stories come from? They will more often than not come from an event or a thing that has happened. So something happens to us, an incident event, and what we then do is we give that meaning. When we give that meaning, we start a story. And when I say we give it meaning, we give it a meaning about ourselves. We give it a meaning that's something about us. So I have a car accident, as an example. I then create a story around the fact that I can't drive, I'm not able to, I'm not good at it, I'm bad at it. A belief gets created. A parent tells you off when you are young, scolds you because you ate the last biscuit out of the biscuit barrel. You ate the last biscuit, and they'll scold you and tell you that, you're greedy. So then you get this story in your head that I'm a greedy person and I'm going to be overweight and I'm a greedy person, and the parent calls you fat, and all this story is stored in your brain, and the story stays in repeat. Now, usually the story is not sitting in our conscious thought. It's a story sitting in the back of our brains. And what it means is we get a little thought, we get a little snippet, we get an unconscious kind of niggle goes on, and we don't necessarily think about it in the conscious space, but it is running in the background. So why is it important to help your clients to release all of this negative stuff? So into a little bit of a science head, we all know that we have a fight, flight, freeze response in our bodies. My best way to describe it is if you are, say, sitting in traffic and somebody honks their horn, I'm sure I'm not the only one, and we get a little bit of a startle. So there's a little bit of a happens when you're in traffic. I said you get that little bit of a startle that goes on. You feel that little bit of your adrenaline, a bit of a buzz, a bit of a something through your body. That's when your fight, flight, freeze response has been activated. For me, I said a car honking its horn is the way that it does it in my body, and I think for many of us that's what it does. So that's my favorite little example. So what happens in an instant is your brain triggers fear. Your brain triggers danger. So what happens is this sort of flood of cortisol and adrenaline and all of these chemicals and hormones start to release instantly from your brain. They go out to the extremities, which is why you kind of get a bit of a buzz, because when things wanted to eat us, that was the mechanism our brain used to put all this energy and charge through to our extremities so we could move, so we could get out of danger, so we could get out of where we needed to go. Boom, instant hit. And that's what it's for. So that's what our fight, flight, freeze is still all about. These days, though, things aren't wanting to eat us. Sure, there's some fairly tough stuff goes on for many, many people's lives, but as a general rule, we're not wanting to be eaten. But that mechanism, that old reptilian, old brain stuff still happens in there. So what happens with people is, in today's society, because our brain can't differentiate between fact or fiction, what's real and what's not, we watch a scary movie and we get the same reaction as if, something was actually happening to us. Because in your energy system, release of that cortisol and that adrenal. So imagine somebody who is in a chronic space of hypervigilant. They're in a chronic space of being activated and on alert and aware because they just don't feel safe in the world. Many of our clients who come to us, there's so much of an element of they just don't feel safe. They may not be able to articulate how and why. They just don't feel safe. So what will happen with them is they get themselves into this chronic place of stress. Now, stress is that release of that, the fight or flight response, the freeze response, that when it's on constant and it's on endless and it's on regular and it keeps happening, we call that chronic. And what that does is that starts to shut down that sort of front part of the brain, the creative thinking, logical thought. It shuts down digestion. It shuts down a whole lot of sort of more. It shuts down a whole lot of responses and activities in the brain that aren't needed for the moments for you to get out of danger. But because you're in a state, or your clients are in a state of chronically in that space, that's happening quite a lot for them. It's really, really hard to watch when you see people like that. We probably all know people like that who aren't our clients and probably will never want to be our clients. They're very stuck in what they've got going on. And as much as you and I could go, oh, like I could just fix that, we have to kind of back off a bit because we can't. It's not our space to fix that. So how are you going to help your clients? What are you going to do? They've got these beliefs going on. They're running these stories in the back of their head. These events have happened to them. They've created a whole lot of stuff that goes on to it. Suddenly they've got a whole belief that may or may not even serve them. Can't get my words out today. Maybe it's words that don't even serve them, but they've got all that going on. So what are we going to do about it? Let me just check the chat, make sure there's no questions at this point in time, because please feel free if you have some questions. Please always feel free. Oh, Julie, you're driving. Well, thank you for letting me know that you are driving. Yeah, and please catch the replay. It'd be fabulous to get some comments and maybe some questions from you when you get to be able to watch this on the replay. So what are we going to do with our clients? How are we going to help them? What's the plan of attack, for want of a better term, what you're going to do with clients? Now, we teach our EFT practitioners to use the tabletop and a table legs approach. Now, think of the tabletop as, they've got this negative emotion going on. I don't know, it could be any sort of negative emotion. It could be anger, anxiety, frustration. Gosh, there was just, an endless list of them. But let's just throw those little ones around, the frustration and maybe the anger. Oh, I could see myself in the video. That looks terribly disconcerting. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that we have a tabletop and our client's going to tell us that they're frustrated. They've just got this constant frustration going on. Imagine it's the tabletop. What we're going to do with our clients is we are going to find out what the events are, what the memories are that hold that belief in place. So they're frustrated about something. They've told themselves a story about something that's going on. So originally we've got an event and something might have not gone well in this event. They wrap a story around it. Suddenly beliefs are there. Negative emotions are as a result of our beliefs that don't serve us. So what you're going to do is with your clients, they're going to tell you they're frustrated, angry, whatever. You're going to want to find out what the table legs are. What are the events that happened to them in their childhood? Usually we like to go back to childhood, and it's not necessarily childhood. What we're going to go back to is the core. We want to go back to that initial core wounding memory. The furthest thing back that they can remember is the first time they felt like this. That's where you want to go to with your clients. So when you do, you're going to find out whatever the events are that happened to them, and they're going to share that with you. You're going to be able to tap on that thing that happened when I was 6. I don't know what the thing is, so we'll just make it up. That thing that happened when I was 6. I was so frustrated when that happened. I felt like I had no voice. I felt like there was nothing I could do. I felt completely powerless. I felt very, very frustrated. Very frustrated in that event. Very frustrated in that moment. Doesn't feel fair. Didn't feel right. Was just so frustrated. I didn't have a voice. I feel like I wasn't being heard. I don't feel like I'm being heard now, but I'm just so frustrated. So if you do some tapping, obviously when you're the practitioner, you're going to do a little bit deeper, a little longer, but you're basically going to use that really simple sort of technique of use the words that they're using and tap through the body parts So we get the intensity of that one down. When we get the intensity of one table leg, we're going to go to the next table leg. What was another event that happened? What was another time you felt frustrated? What's the first time you can feel you were frustrated in your life? What was going on? And you're going to help them to release each one of those. So once you've started to clear away the table legs, that tabletop of feeling frustrated, the intensity of that will go down for them. It's because it just will happen, because we're using tapping to go through all the events in the legs themselves and all the memories. When you get through that, that frustration level is going to reduce for them. So once you get that down to, a 0, 1, 2 at the absolute most, but you want to get it down to 1 or 2, that sense of frustration. Obviously, it will go deeper and they'll tell you more things. You then want to be able to give them the opportunity to not only just self-heal, because yes, you will want to see them multiple times. You don't just want to get them to self-heal necessarily. What you want to be able to do is to get them feeling empowered. You want your clients to feel very empowered in terms of knowing that they can take control and manage themselves, knowing that they don't need you as a practitioner to have to be in the room for tapping to be effective. You want them to feel like they have choices and options of their own. So while EFT tapping, we use it as practitioners, it was never intended that way. It was actually intended as a self-help tool for people to do it themselves. So you want to, as a practitioner, make sure you give your clients some of the tools that they're going to use when they leave you. Some of the ways we help our clients, so when they leave, we're grown-ups. I work with grown-ups, so we don't do homework. We call it home play. We give it some cool terms. It's up to you, whatever you want to give it. But give your clients the opportunity and show them how to have a daily practice of tapping. I love to do some tapping when I wake up in the morning. I may have thoughts running through my head as I wake up, and I will just lay in bed, and what I'll do, I'll actually show you. I tend to sleep kind of curled up like this. I'll tend to tap here, because there's meridians on up over the body and down up the front and down over the back and through hands and through fingers. So I'll tend to tap here on myself. So it doesn't need to be the places that we know. It just needs to be where the meridians run. And we know that they come down over here. We know that they run down the back. So I'm going to tap like this as I'm laying in bed. I've tried tapping on my face, but it just gets really awkward and I can't get on the pillow. And, I have used it to drop off to sleep, I'll admit. But in the mornings, if I'm sort of still curled up, I'm going to tap here and I'm going to tap through whatever's in my head as I've woken up, because I want to get out of bed smiling. I want to get out of bed with a great big smile on my face of all the things that are going to be fun today, all the things that are going to be exciting, all the things I'm going to get to play with. I love to get out of bed like that. So that's my daily practice, is like this, tapping. You may support your clients they may not do it that way. What they might do is they may come out of bed and they may have a time during the day where they'd like to sit and do some of their practice. They may choose in the morning, the afternoon, pop it in their calendar, whatever. Another favorite for clients is to do it before bed. So what they can do is they can just tap through and go, all the things I didn't get done, all the things I should have done today, but I didn't get done. I'm going to let myself off the hook. I'm going to make sure I'm not being mean to myself. I'm going to give myself lots of kindness. I tried really hard to get lots of things done today. I may not have achieved everything I wanted to, but I still did my best. I really did my best today. I strived really hard. I showed up the best that I could. I may have had too many things on the list, but I really tried to get through them. And I'm going to let go of any judgment. I'm going to let go of any concerns. I'm going to let go of all of the places that I might beat myself up and be a bit mean and not be kind, because I did my best today. Whether I believe it or not, I did my best, and I shall be grateful. Something as simple as that. How long did it take? A minute or so? Help your clients to do some sort of tapping like that. Have a little conversation themselves just before bed and release all that judgment of themselves. The last way is maybe they may want to schedule it. Maybe they want to do 10 o'clock every morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, midday, whatever it is. Maybe they want to have a very set time of the day that they want to go in, and they may want to actually work on a particular topic. They may have done a personal peace procedure where we've got a great big list of all the things, bothersome memories, things all through their past, and they may pick one each day, and they may just sit and do 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most, and just focus very, very much in on that one session. So that's the simplistic way for you to work with your clients as a practitioner, is the ability to recognize where their negative emotions come from, what's holding them, what's holding those negative emotions, what's bringing that to them, what is it that has gone on for them that they're still replaying story by story by story that's causing the negative emotions to turn up, right? You want to go in and you want to help them clear away all the blocks that are happening from the events that have happened in their past. Once you do, how do we help them to build a daily practice, a healing routine, something that's going to serve and support them in between the sessions that you have with them? So that is the end of today. It has been absolutely lovely. I love bringing these topics to you, and we are going to always talk about EFT tapping, how to be a great practitioner, how, if you want to be a practitioner, what it even means, but really, how do we help and support clients? How do we help and support other people? How do we serve them for them to have the best life they possibly can, the best life for them, and give you that beautiful sense of satisfaction to know that you are just making such a difference in this world. Much love. Have a beautiful week, and we will see you again soon.